Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rating Your Smart Home Dashboards video where you super talented and creative people out there have sent me in your best dashboard designs that you have for your smart home, and we take a look at them for some inspiration and also to give you some feedback. And today I have got some really good ones for you, and in particular one that I'm like 99.9% sure that you have never seen this concept before. First up though, we have a tablet dashboard from Abel. Now, if you remember all the way back to like episode 1, I think it was, Abel also submitted a mobile design back then, which was insanely good and had loads of you in the comments saying how good his design was. And so now he has submitted his tablet dashboard. The way this dashboard actually started out is that he took this map that you can see here from his Roborock vacuum, which kind of went through the house and scanned it as it was cleaning. So he took that map and then put it into Sweet Home 3D to use as a template to draw out the house or the floor plan in 3D. And as you can see, as different lights come on in the house, the map will actually change to reflect those lights coming on. And the other cool thing is that it changes as it goes from day to night, but also night to day. So it's just little touches like that that make this an insanely cool little dashboard. I really love how much attention to detail there is in this design. Like, there's the reflection in the mirror of the desk over here, so you can see that in the reflection over here too. The little pattern on the blinds, just these little things on the walls. So much detail in here, and yeah, must have taken a long time to put together. The other thing is you'll notice that these blue kind of outlines around the room. So the blue line will actually signify if somebody is in the room or not, using millimeter wave sensors, he said, along with motion sensors, and he's also got a bed occupancy sensor too, so you can kind of tell where in the room or which room people are actually hanging out in. To control the devices on the map, Abel basically just touches the device that he wants to control and it will control that light. But you might be thinking, but how do I control the different light colors and brightness? And that's where you see this hexagonal menu kind of pop up, which gives you more control. So if you tap and hold on a target, it brings up that nice, really nice looking hexagonal menu in that nice animation, and that gives you more control over the device. Super cool. Also, if you tap and hold on a room rather than a specific device, you'll get this hexagonal menu pop up, and you'll see over here, there's a little vacuum icon, which will then send the robot vacuum to that specific room to do a cleaning. Really nice. Oh, I just noticed his monitor's got like a little blue outline around it, as if someone sat there using it. That's cool. Overall, this is a really amazing design. The only thing I'm not sure on is how it would work if you had like multiple floors. In this case, there's only one floor, so it makes it super clean. Yeah, really, really amazing design. I can see there's been so much work put into this, and I give this a 9.6 out of 10. Next up, we have a tablet dashboard from Bird. And this is kind of a design that is split up into sort of two columns. So on the left-hand side, we have a floor plan type of design. And then on the right-hand side, we have like a column for energy stats, as well as a little bit of weather. And this is kind of a unique sort of design. I mean, kind of really reminds me of like an 80s or a 90s game, kind of like the original Zelda game for some reason, or maybe the original Pokemon game, with this kind of simplified floor plan that doesn't have any of the fancy elements, but it's kind of just got the outlines of the walls. Just reminds me of the early Pokemon game for some reason. Bird said he tried a full 3D view originally, but him and his wife just found that it wasn't really that usable for them, and they found it overwhelming and difficult to use. So we settled on this much simpler 3D or 2D floor plan instead of that overcomplicated 3D plan. As you can see, he's got the icons on the floor plan over here that you can just tap on and then be able to instantly control the device. And he said that he tried to adopt the philosophy of not adding too many controls that won't get used, so just the stuff that they do need and nothing they don't, and I can definitely see that has been adhered to here. You can see here he's got multiple icons for the vacuum as well in the same rooms, so I think if you tap on that icon, it's going to send the robot vacuum to do like a spot cleaning in that area, which is a nice little touch. Over on the right hand side, you've got his energy stats, and I can see that he's got some like today's prices as well as tomorrow's prices, which might help to like plan in advance when you're going to use some of the more energy heavy appliances like dishwashers, washing machines, that type of thing. Overall, I do appreciate the simplicity, and like he said, he did try the 3D design and just found it overwhelming and not useful, so they fall back to this 2D design, which works for them. It's not the kind of design I would go for personally, but I do think it's cool and it works for them clearly. So for me, I'm going to give this a 7.7 out of 10. Next up, we have a tablet dashboard from Dimitri with this kind of hexagonal sort of design, I guess you could call it. And I think the thing I like about this one is that it's a nice lesson in how to clearly lay out sections for organization purposes, but also usability. So as you can see, it's kind of split up into 3 main sections, including that camera row along the bottom. Over on the left, we have all of our device controls that are organized by device type or category rather than something by room. So we've got our lights, blinds, temperatures, and they've all got at a glance information so that you can quickly see what's going on. Then in the middle, we have like more of an information panel, kind of showing us the things that are going on. So energy consumption, train times, that type of thing, all happening in the middle. And then over on the right, we have our calendar as well as media controls for quick toggling or controlling of media devices. And then we've got a row of cameras along the bottom. Dimitri also mentioned that these cards are also clickable so that you can bring up more information or more controls for those devices. So as you can see here, he's got a bunch of lights here that can also all be controlled from that clickable card, which I do like. Overall, I think the layout is really well done. It's not overwhelming with loads of controls all in your face that you just don't know what to click. There is a couple of minor things like super picky, like this YouTube text being slightly out of line with the text above, just tiny little things like that. But otherwise, it's super consistent with like these nice icons and the text, the hexagonals on all of these little cards, and yeah, really, really consistent. Dimitri also uses a Stream Deck that he's got linked to this. So this is a picture of his Stream Deck with loads of different icons that he's linked into Home Assistant for some custom actions, which is pretty cool. I'm guessing he has this on like his office desk or something like that, and he can toggle the lights and blinds and that type of thing, all from the Stream Deck, which is really cool. I'm gonna give this one an 8.4 out of 10 for its clean layout and simplicity. Next up, we have a tablet dashboard from Joey. Although looking at this one, it kind of looks like the layout would work on both mobile or tablet pretty well. Just looking at these columns, they look like it would kind of work on mobile too. But the reason I kind of chose this one is for the colors. I really like this dark mode with the kind of dark glass look that these cards have got. They kind of just got a little bit of opaqueness to them. And I really love the splashes of color throughout. So we've got this kind of green but dark background up at the top that then fades to black as it gets near the bottom, kind of like a gradient. And then you've also got these just splashes of color throughout. So on the light cards, we've got kind of like an ambient hue showing up behind the sliders, which is really nice. And you've got things like this little picture and then the little graphs over here. So just nice splashes of color throughout, but still a nice dark theme. Yeah, I just like the colors. These icons up here are also really nice too, which I'm guessing are used for like controlling scenes or maybe certain types of lights he has. I'm also a big fan of having these master controls up at the top, like on the title for the lights as well as the media volume, so that you can quickly control all the lights. So if you want to just turn all lights off, that's something I might actually try and implement in my own dashboard. Pretty good idea. Yeah, I didn't really have a whole lot to say about this one other than I really like the color palette for some reason, and it's just a super clean design. It could use a bit of organization in terms of the cards kind of being everywhere and in your face. It's kind of a little bit overwhelming, but at the same time, everything is really accessible. I would definitely not be disappointed if I had to use this dashboard. Great job on this one. I'm gonna give this an 8.9 out of 10. Justin's mobile dark mode dashboard is up next. And this is a design that isn't particularly focused or centered on one card or theme in particular, as I can see a bunch of different cards used throughout the design. But the reason I chose this one is that whilst it's on the right track, and I think it does some good things, there is one problem in particular holding it back for me. And that is just the sheer amount of scrolling that you need to do to get to some of the controls. So if we took a look at the home page, which is this page here, this is probably the view that you would have on a mobile device if you were at the very top of the page. And like these chips at the top take up like a third of the page or a quarter of the page almost. And then we don't actually have any meaningful controls. We have some of the weather stuff, but none of the more meaningful information until we actually scroll down. And we have to scroll all the way down here to get to the robot vacuum, and that's a lot of scrolling. And this is a theme throughout all of the pages on his dashboard. So for example, this is the lighting one. You would have to scroll all the way down here to get to the master bedroom light, for example. And it's not that scrolling is inherently bad. It's just that I find in my experience that the more people have to dig through controls and scroll around to try and get to the thing they want, the less inclined they are to use it. I do think there are two ways to fix this. Firstly, there is a lot of controls that I do wonder how much you actually need and how much you actually use. For example, this air quality section on the homepage, you could turn this into like a drop down so that if you do want to see this information, you could click it and it would expand down and then it would disappear. That would save some space, because generally for things like air quality, you would probably want this to be an automation to quickly notify you if the air quality is bad, rather than relying on you going in and actually looking at it. And some controls could also be combined. So for example, on the main page here, if we scroll down to the house temperature and kind of this section over here, these controls are also over on this page. So you kind of have duplicates showing the same thing. Whereas if you got rid of them and you just have one place for one information, then that would make your dashboard a lot smaller and rely on less scrolling. Then you have a bunch of controls that could also be combined together, which will reduce space. So for example, with the new tile card that is available in Home Assistant by default, you could have your light switches that are over here on this page also show the temperature and humidity for that room, for example, and then you won't need all of these temperature and humidity sensors over here. That's going to reduce space and result in less scrolling. I think with some minor tweaks like that, that would really help with the usability and not having to scroll all over to find the thing that you want, and just make it feel a little bit cleaner. Otherwise, it is a really good dashboard, and there is some things I do like these tiles over here and this sort of Windows mobile type thing. I guess you use these for quick toggles or for scenes, for example. That's nice and simple to use, and I think it does work well. So that is just some things I would change for me personally. Again, I know it's not for everyone. Good job on this dashboard though, and you did say that you've been using Home Assistant for less than a year, so really great job in just diving in and creating your own dashboard. I'm going to give this a 7.7 out of 10. Next up, we have a mobile and a tablet dashboard from Werner's, which is based on the LCARS theme from the Jesta, which we looked at before. And I know this is going to make so many of you so happy to see this theme in Home Assistant. We did actually look at a previous one from Bearded Tinker, who submitted his dashboard in a previous video, which was a tablet design. So let's take a look at Werner's mobile design this time. Again, I feel like I'm gonna get absolutely flamed for this, given how many of you are huge supporters, but I am not personally a fan of Star Trek or a fan of the LCARS look. However, put the pitchforks down, I can definitely appreciate how much work and effort has been put into this theme and making it look as good as it does. Werner's has used the approach of splitting his devices up by room, using these pictures of his rooms, which is the approach that I prefer and how I kind of like to organize my devices, which is really cool. And I think the thing that I do like and appreciate is how consistent everything is throughout the design, from the rounded corners of everything over here to the fonts used, the colors, and so on, just extremely consistent. I'm hesitant to even ask this, as it's something I'm probably missing from not being a Star Trek fan, but I noted that all of these sections kind of start from the right hand side and kind of loop over, like all of these start in from the right and the right blah blah blah, but then this one in particular comes from the left for some reason. Is there a reason you guys know of for that? Let me know down in the comments. I'm actually genuinely interested if there's a particular reason or if it's just that design choice. I don't know. I'm interested. The only tiny little flaws I can pick in this is like there's just a little bit of text overhanging here. Same on this one. But yeah, otherwise just like insanely consistent throughout, which is it's really cool. He's even got the nice rounded edges on his camera card over here. So yeah, just keeping everything consistent. The tablet dashboard is also super clean too, and they even make use of a swipe card over here up at the quarters to switch between quarters mode or modes mode, which I thought was really cool. And I was particularly fascinated by the energy card that he has over here. This card up at the top, like I have no idea what is supposed to happen or what's even showing me, but that's fascinating. Overall though, if we take my bias out of this, I will give this a 9.1 out of 10 for the consistency and just the immersion of everything. Again, I'll leave a link to the Jesta's GitHub repo if you want to use the LCARS theme for yourself. You know how we have those newer 3D designs that have the elements that kind of react as you touch them and change the room? So if you turn on a light with a purple color, it'll kind of like light up the floor and the wall in that purple color. Those are really cool, right? But just take a look at this. This is Federico's entire house modeled in Unreal Engine, which is then linked into Home Assistant. And as you can see, it kind of takes that 3D floor plan reactive element to a whole new level. It's like a live house that reacts to anything and everything that happens. Not sure if it will come across on video, but you can kind of like see the fibers in the carpet kind of moving on the floor here as if it's like grass in the wind type thing. And then you've got the reflections in the glass over here of the glass doors. It's kind of like nuts. You can see that he can cycle through the camera views using the control over in the top right over here in Home Assistant. So if he changes the active camera in Home Assistant, that changes the view in Unreal Engine. Kind of insane. It also works both ways too. So if he changes something in Unreal Engine, it reflects it over in Home Assistant and vice versa. If he turns on a light in Home Assistant, it turns it on over in Unreal Engine. Yeah, this is nuts. And he's just like controlling or tapping the areas where lights are and it kind of turns on the lights. So it takes that whole reacting to your environment thing to a whole new level. Basically, because this is like a giant simulator, I guess you could call it. He's even got the cover for what's being played shown on the TV. That's cool, man. Who thinks of these things? Yeah, and then you'll see you can go into free roam here and kind of just like look around wherever you want. So you can just pan everywhere and anywhere. Still able to toggle the lights and kind of like move around, and that's insane. How much work and effort must have been put into this? Oh, and also he sent me this kind of like behind the scenes type of thing. These are all like the links over in Unreal Engine and how they kind of flow into Home Assistant and how he makes that all kind of work. And then you can see like the different points in the engine, I guess. So you've got like the lights as well as the touch targets, I guess these are. I've never used Unreal Engine, so I'm just purely guessing kind of where they're positioned around the room, as well as you've got like the camera position over here for the different active cameras, I guess you would call them. Now, obviously this isn't practical for like an actual dashboard. I think we would all agree on that. But I did just think this was really cool to show off and to see what people are up to. And I imagine this was an insane amount of work to get going. And yeah, just thought this was so different and kind of blew my mind watching it that I really wanted to share it with you. Not because of its dashboard capabilities, but just because it's so cool to see the ingenuity of this community. And yeah, really great job, Federico. I can't really rate this one as a dashboard, but in terms of like cool factor, this is like an 11 out of 10 there for sure. And that is about all of the dashboards I have for you today. I have to say the best thing about doing these videos is firstly how many talented and creative people there are out there willing to submit their dashboards. There is so many insane designs, but also that so many of you leave comments saying that these were really helpful for inspiration and you took a certain aspect of one dashboard and you were able to implement it and level up your own dashboard. Super cool to see people sharing things and working together to level up their smart home games. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a comment down below letting me know if you want me to keep making these rating your dashboard videos. Do you find them helpful? Do you find them useful? Please do let me know. Other than that, if I have any of the code or screenshots or GitHub repos to share from the authors who submitted their dashboards and I have permission, I will of course link them down below. Thank you so much for submitting your dashboards. If you want to submit your dashboard for future episodes, then you will find the email down in the description which you can use. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop this video a like and get subscribed, and I will see you in the next video.